You have to marry on the pants.
I'm not a cute. I need a tie. So this is for the men, mostly. Hello? So how could I... Oh, this is not it, yeah. So this is my presentation for today about implementation lessons from a meteorological service, meteorological center, DCPC of AMMC. So we already heard whole last 2-3 days about this. So I would inform you about DCPC formal steps, how we did it in Croatia for our center, something about data and metadata, what we learned from the practice, something about how we installed GeoPortal and other software, and some practice and lessons. So it will be a very simple presentation about our experience. We haven't finished all this functionality. And it is important, we will be this center, but we still have a lot of partners around from other countries, so we still haven't agreed about all these actions, what we will do together. This is a long process with new partners. But before everything, I would like to thank to all of you. Yesterday we have Ladies' Day, and we were in the place called Katara here in Doha. And there was one statue, and this statue has a name, Force of the Nature. And we are very glad that we were here, ladies. And this statue, one artist produced it. I Googled this evening to see what is it really. So when it was this tsunami in Southeast Asia, a lot of people would die, and the artist decided to produce some statue about how the nature has a force, and whatever technology we have, nature, we are in the hands of the nature. So I'm very glad that you have it here in Doha, and I really think that you are good environment for doing the business in meteorology and geophysics, because really you appreciate that type of the art. Okay, thank you. This was something from me, but it's always in my presentation something from. Oh, but my idea, I didn't know the name. I didn't know the name of statue, and I said, look at this lady is riding the globe. So this was my idea, what is presented. But then I was Googling this Katara, and then I found the sculpture. So I have a good night after the event to find what is it really. So this is for others to know that I think that really your country is promoting really not just art and other things, but also this link with the nature. Thank you very much for yesterday and for all this hospitality once again. So this slide you know. So I'll leave it in this presentation because I would like that every presentation has a reason why we are doing that, so it will be inside the presentation. You could use it always. And this other slide is really how we reach these steps or prerequisites for this DCPC. So from the left side, I show you first day this was what are requirements for us, and that what are the steps, what we fulfill and how we fulfill it. So we started we agreed to be partner of DCPC. We announced to WMO, and then we selected JISC, what we will cooperate. And so we decided to select Offenbach. So the next step will be how we proceed with Offenbach and what was it. So I was not that involved in the matter. It was just 1 year ago, the colleague from our service went to Offenbach and discussed things about that we would like to link to Offenbach as national center to JISC, and also to be our link to our JISC as a link to WIS. And we spoke with the JISC authorities, and we learned a lot of, in practice, what is a WIS system, to understand this distribution of authorities, who is doing what. Whatever Timo explained now, we really learned from them. Those two colleagues were there. And they decided to schedule necessary steps. So they put in front of us two requirements. First was that we should be fully operational national center to WIS. Because if we could not fulfill to be national center in WIS, how could we fulfill to be DCPC? So it's logical, yeah? And other is to follow the steps and to ensure DCPC WIS functions. And also concerning the formal steps, they said, okay, you should inform WMO that you decided that Offenbach will be your primary JISC. And luckily for us also, we already have a bilateral agreement between my service and Offenbach. So this formal part and all what was required from them was discussed 1 year ago. And then they said that they are in trouble, and they found a solution. Always solution is in ladies, like you see in this statue. So I got a job somehow. So things are like that. That first we tried to follow the steps, what we should ensure to be fully operational national center in the WIS. So they said, okay, you already sending for many years from 93 data to GTS. We already send table-driven format data also in parallel. So these two things are already fulfilled. But the new thing in WIS is that you should have metadata. And Offenbach provided from us already they took from volume C1 all our bulletins, and they provided automatically generated some type of metadata. A lot of information were missing concerning authorities, contacts, and that. I said, please look into that and try to understand, is it something missing there? Is it some wrong position of your stations or list of the station? Are your data in WMO environment, this volume C and volume A, they are really relevant? And please update it. So I think this is very reasonable that when we are entering to WIS, that we really clear a house to ourselves first, because you really have to update system. For many years, probably nobody looked at that, and it is good to look at it. So really we get a registration, and this JISC DVD, we got a DHMZ username and password. So we could do that interactively there to modify our metadata, or we could download a set of this metadata, do everything at home, and then send that there. So we decided to do it offline, not online, because there are a lot of negotiations in the services, whose authors, who could do something about it. So it will be better to have all the set of 50 metadata in one place and not to do it interactively. And also, after that, we have notification to WMO that we are fully operational, because we fulfilled this step. And also, they inform us that we should check classification of data of WMO. So are they really essential, this regulation 40, or additional, or maybe some other data, and compare it with volume C1 with some list of additional data, etc., etc. So in a practice, I look to the one part of WMO web pages, and there are a list of regulation 40 statements about the countries. And I found out that my country at 96 declared just 6 or 7 stations there are according to the regulation 40, other are additional. But in practice, it's not like that. So we noticed that we should send maybe some information to WMO in that web pages, but more important is to update this information immediately in metadata. So we clean this situation. So in metadata, currently my service for all the observations declared they are open. As they are open, it means that WMO essential for all the meteorological partners. So this is for us, but it was good situation that we really look at what does it mean, because nobody was clear, and we need some signature from the directors or bosses that everybody understand what we're doing. So that was for about fully operational NCVIS. So we get that paper, I don't know, we get that information from Offenbach that they, as our authorized JISC, confirmed that Croatia fulfilled all the requirements, and that we are a national center in this environment. So for the next part, ensure this DCPC WIS functions, and there are a list. And this list was very scary for us, and we started to read it and try to understand really where is the job inside, what does it mean, because it has a system, but we were not sure how could we fulfill system with our ideas, what we like to do with this Marine Meteorological Center for Adriatic Sea. So there are really gap of ideas, so what and how to do it. And luckily WMO and also Offenbach said to us, but there are a program in WMO called Jump Start of WIS. So you could ask authorities of WMO, and they will send you experts, and they could help you, at least to understand what are your ideas and to help you how you will reach some functionality, or for you maybe to test one approach, maybe to test several approaches. It's up to you, because nobody's forced you to do anything. It is your ambitions that you will be DCPC, and it is learning process for everybody. So, and also it's learning process for your bosses and big bosses, who could say at the end, okay, it's really what we agree for. Because everything looks nice in this first slide. We have a lot of DCPCs. So we decided for this jump start, and we get luckily Timo, and he came for us in Zagreb in April last year, and to discuss all what I said with us, and to install relevant WIS software to establish DCPC AMC portal. And so we discuss about installations, tests, adjustment, improvements, to how to establish this ISO 19115, because when I started to look at the ISO, I was first Googling that, then I get in Geneva, you know, this ISO authorities, if you pay, I don't know, 100 Swiss francs, you could get this authority document. So it's not possible, so it's not necessary. But just if you really started yourself, you enter to some other world and you started really to worry. But it was really just ISO that already has application in many areas, and it is available. So my simple Google was the wrong approach. Really, you need advices from your environment how to do it. So we were speaking with the team about the ISO standard, and he explained us this is WMO and oceanographic interoperability software. So it's standard. It is possible to use it, and I will show you how to do it. And we started with the implementation of software, and we started with the test of metadata templates with Timo. So in the 2.5 days, we did a lot of job. Actually, he taught us how to think in terms of metadata, how to understand what the requirements for this ISO 19115 and things like that. Timo, I was speaking about you, and now I'm stopping. Okay, so yes, it was neutral. And then, yes, I'm sorry you decided to leave at that point. So concerning this, the idea was, okay, your service doesn't have experience in building the system, so probably you would prefer to go to some software which are from open source software environment. So this is a GeoPortal server. So S3 GeoPortal server available, open source environment, and there is an address. And Tim asked us, do we think that it will be good for us as approach to have almost ready system, but probably we should adapt it, but we agree about it. And when we downloaded, it was some type of environment like that. And we immediately, with his help, were able to put some templates of some examples of some bulletins or some warnings over the sea, how the metadata for those should it look like, how the metadata for others, and does this GeoPortal understand how that we put this data inside and how we could search or something like that. In the meantime, when Timo left, we modify it, we put our own banner or something, we introduce some other parts of it, and generally we started to play with the software because the software is PHP, and so you could modify part of it, and it looks, it is long, big one. I was not doing that job. I was providing elements for that, and one of my younger colleagues, lady, and my boss from IT, they started really to dig on it because everything should be done as administrator. So once you make mistake, you once again start from beginning. So it was not completely playground. So. And so we modified it, we put WMO in our service, we introduced the area, we get domain from Croatia, ammc.hr. And after some period, I introduced inside some 37 records of some metadata about some of the products possible. For instance, there were bulletins, but also some models, products from Aladdin, because there are winds, and we have a very good focus for 2-meter winds and wind gusts. So everything which is important for this area. So if you switch to this search, you open something like that, and your meta files will be visible, something like that. Okay. And if you go in a search and click to one of these bulletins, you will see immediately area where it covers. So it was really very high resolution of Windfield or Dubrovnik area. So it has a very small area of its coverage, but the graphics are 2.2 kilometers. So between all these islands, you see details and things like that. It is products very valuable, and people are using them from our internet. So it is essential because we think whatever we usually put on internet, it is like we said that it is free of charge. So it should have flag essential. It doesn't matter that it is not part of this bulletins from WMO, but it has same level of authority, not authority, level of accessibility. You know? So this is how we build it. So if you look at that a little bit deeper, you will see also example of this data. And also, if you go even deeper, you will see from from the XML how it interprets XML. So it interprets elements of your metadata in that format. This is just environment from that service. Intentionally, I'm not Googling now to you here or work interactively. Intentionally, I put it in presentation because it will be easier for you afterwards to use it. This is it. And how we reach to metadata, how really we produce metadata, we use the server. So there is the European Commission provided some INSPIRE initiatives, so there are standards in informatics, and I don't know exactly what is all these abbreviations, but anyhow, there is an interactive server with editor available. So you could interactively, if you don't have a lot of data, just produce this several samples and then manually in XML change it, or if you have a lot of data, then you could attack your XML with some program or procedure and produce from one text file XML, you could provide versions of it. So it is really if you combine free software and common sense, you could combine some your software with the products which are available with the servers. So usually I would do like that. I will produce samples of some type of data here, download this XML, and then by some programs generate many data if I have very similar data, just if I change some values or model levels and things like that. It is, I think, the best approach. And then when I generate some set of data, I started to think, okay, this is what I generate. Who are the users? Who generated and what will happen? Who understand what we are doing? So concerning one of the lessons is how you will describe your data. Because it is important the way how you describe your data that somebody will recognize them. So we are speaking about this system. We are speaking about something that we would like that be meteorological data more visible to the other users. Or are those users just in our world or outside our world? And how to do it. So my lesson number one for all of us is describe your data with standard words and standard observations. Why? Yesterday I was Googling here Deutsche Wetterdienst. This is this GISC. I put the domain of Mediterranean, but also here it covers this domain. So this is the same address like this morning what we said. And then I put abbreviation SST, sea surface temperature. This is for me sea surface temperature. Why not? To see what is it in system. And what I got, just few reports, and this is some analysis for El Nino. So you have presentation, you could zoom it, or you could try to save example. So is it everything what we have over the Mediterranean and Gulf and Arabic Sea? Is it really everything? Is it possible? And then I said maybe I was wrong, and I put in the search sea surface temperature. And I set it one again, I get more data. So this was my example to say when we are producing the metadata, we should use some standard procedure and also standard abbreviation, probably both, because of what I noticed that some reports are from some metadata are in this list and in the previous. So probably some of those has abbreviation as well as full name of the parameter, something like that. So I think that is something that we will learn when we will produce this metadata of something which is not such completely standard, that we should really try to describe as not just for the experts, but all how the people will tackle that problem. Okay. Concerning other things, I was wondering what about this regulation 40, WMO essential, WMO additional, other data, access to data, who could be who could be user of data to be distributed or on requests. And also the idea is that it is not me as a service who will describe these products for everybody else. We will have a lot of partners from oceanographic institutes. Do they understand that world of essential data and the additional data? How to do it? And I think that this will be discussion between DCPC partners, because I, as a manager of DCPC, AMC DCPC, I would like that we reach the best possible agreement with the partners to open data, if it is possible, to all the community, or that partners understand the procedure if there are some extra requests addressed to them. So also, we are aware that all these centers have support of our governments, because we would like to have risk reduction actions. So risks at the sea are very important, and there are warnings and risk management procedures. So what happens if somebody has some set of data and put them inside as additional, and some event happen and people will need this data now? So probably we should discuss with the partners some procedure that people would request the data, and maybe they could introduce some procedure the data would be available on some type of request. I'm not speaking that we will settle that this year or next year, but I think that it should be our goal. Why we are building these DCPCs? Because we would like to see data, use data, and be useful for community. Otherwise, we are playing. So this is my ambitions, to clarify those things with my partners. I am not sure that I will reach it, but maybe if I repeat it a long time, many times, maybe it will be good. And also, one good thing in Croatia that Timo already saw it when he was in Zagreb. Okay, data are not essential, but there are procedures how to order data from Zagreb from my service, because we have Croatian web page, but also a web page of MedService in English. And there are procedures. So really, in my service, when you go, there are some procedures, and you could order data. So it is very good that you first produce some place where the people could apply for data before you put data in the list. Because if the data is additional, how they will contact you? You need a procedure. Luckily, we in our service already before had this, we had these documents, we have this procedure, who you should contact, and so we really make at the meta files link to that web page. So everybody is clear for meta and the products of my service. And so we already introduced it in our metadata. Okay, I'm going further. What about non-GTS standard data? Well, I was thinking about our partners. I said, okay, we will have partners, but they don't know about bulletins. They don't know how they will give me file. So everybody will have file in different format. It will be chaos for somebody who would like to read it. Chaos for those who would like to run application like analysis or warnings. So I think that it will be long duty for me and my team to understand this oceanographic teams, how we will introduce some bulletins. Maybe for something there are procedure, but maybe for some other things we should introduce and help them with some simple software to generate from their set of the observations some headers and put it in some text format. Because if it will not be buffer or grid, we should put it data randomly in some text, or I don't know what we'll do. Especially, my question was also about, okay, text and images we are aware, but what about model products? Okay, for some models you have 100 to 1,000 files, fields. I don't know how you organize your output. Should you organize 1,000 meta files? For sure not. So my recommendation and my approach is already now followed in try to gather metadata according to possible use. Standard parameters, for instance, for surface, for standard pressure levels, but maybe put just one meta file for full model output. You should be pragmatic, you should do something. Also, my question is, could historical data be part of DCPC? Because it could be just metadata about, there are historical data about that, and that. Should we put it also? Because this is specific center. We are speaking about oceanography, we are speaking about nature. So if services think that they would like to put this type of data, we should at least have information in meta files. Yes, there are historical operations at that institute. You could contact them and they will provide for us in some metadata format that this set of data exists. This is how I see it. I'm not sure, maybe I don't see anything, but everything correctly. I don't have any suggestion for anybody, and I think we are really very young in this DCPC developments, and there are different DCPCs. Okay. And what about some marine observations and products? What are the standards? I forgot to put at slide WIGOS. Okay. I don't know. WIGOS is still in development, so I don't know the WIGOS standard. What are the keywords? What are priority for the measurements? What we are seeking from the partners? Do we have that type of data, that type of data? What will be the priorities for marine meteorology? And so I was looking for this ocean data portal of JCOM pilot project. There are 2 web pages. This one is that one, I don't know, maybe it's working, but here I was trying once again. It was forbidden to link for that, I don't know. Anyhow, the Russian make this real-time hydrological observation data portal with the air temperature, water, wind, wave for coastal station. This is web-based portal with not with center, but it provides data and metadata. As I am aware, they are not distributed. So I have a snapshot from, I don't know, from spring, how this portal looks like. So probably there will be some standard between these other centers that will introduce us some ideas how to do the job for marine. So this is what I know so far. I really need more meetings and to meet the colleagues who will try to build something. So I'm here as a teacher and trainer, but I should go somewhere to learn a lot. So this is what I had. Okay, and also about the parameters, I was not sure what are the essential parameters we should look. I was sure, but I was looking to WMO guidelines for sure. The wave parameters, these are the most important, and this is listed why are important and things like that. So visibility, we always forgot about it, but for instance, harbors operation need good data on visibility, so not just airports. So I don't know how many visibility measurements are digital at the harbors, because I know they are standard at airports, but I don't know about the harbor. So maybe we should push harbors to install in software, in equipment there. Maybe they are not aware that there are equipment that could help them, and then they will have good reports. So there are a lot of work. Okay. And then I'm going to the end of my presentation. I would like just to speak about other part of this, so not just about metadata, because I will just show you what I think about this developing a metadata system for marine meteorology, but also how we put this software, other functionality, synchronization with the JISC, pull-push, monitoring products, and things like that. And also we have some info pages with the partners, so we started to have also portal itself, not just DCPC. And so inside this GeoPortal software, you have this Postgres SQL database. So inside are our metadata. And so if some zoom looks like that, so system is there. If you should be a little bit familiar with Postgres database and this name of this tags, what does it mean, some classes and things like that. It is generating automatically, but if you like to look at it, you should know what you're looking. Okay. Also, there is a link between the JISC and AMC. It was done by this JRI data provider. This software was installed in our service. And it looks like that. All of that is open source software. And one of DCPC duty is to maintain maintenance and of dissemination metadata. So, for instance, when we are playing with the metadata, we manage to produce some errors. So, find warning errors, and some of the files were not synchronized between some uploader of meta files and the GeoPortal server. So when we look at what we produce, it was warning already exists, file like that. So I don't know how it will look in the future, but probably we should have good diagnostic when partners will produce double file set, because the system will alarm us. So we should have this really some type of diagnostics. Duplicated data, this was just for these 3 files. We don't have a lot of files, but it was something that we should take care of it. Also, OpenGraph inform us that if we will have a lot of data, a lot of meta files, that maybe we should have some maintenance with some public software, like automatic file distributor, AFD. So this software exists. It could be also installed. So this is all system is based on open source software. So we haven't reached that decision, because currently we haven't spoke with the partners who will do what. So we are aware if there will be more transaction between us and the JISC and dissemination of products, not just metadata, then we should install some system. And this is my last slide. So in the future, what we will do, a part of all the duties, we should first train our partners. So in this documentation, this is user roles, yes? But what you call it, users? User has a roles, yes. But we, as a DCPC, we think that we have partners and users, because partners are those who provide data. We are not only provider of data, but our partners from Adriatic Sea, from Croatia, Italy, Slovenia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Montenegro. So, Albania, I forgot, I'm sorry. And then, how to make authorization of the partners, and also should we discuss with them this format, structure, bulletins, and things like that. So this is, I think, important. And also, we should have registration of users, and we should then have monitoring. So we think that our partners are those who will provide also metadata products, and we will have also formal agreements with them. So we should have some cooperation agreements between us as a DCPC and other partners, because we need also this formal agreement. As we have formal agreement with Deutsche Wetterdienst, we have memorandum of understanding, probably we should have also some legal paperwork between us and the partners. Okay. So that's all for me, and I finish with one other picture. So same sculpture, maybe other sculpture here in Doha. It's called Rise Through Education. I'm impressed. You have 2 beautiful sculptures here. Rise Through Education, and it is really, we are in the workshop, we are in the training, and here you promote really knowledge. Thank you very much. Any question? Okay, so you have presentation. We are running Aladdin model in Croatia. No. We are running in Aladdin model. Is cooperation of countries. Metal France is the biggest partner, but Aladdin as a consortia has 15 members. And especially in Central Europe, we had previously centralized operations when we didn't have computers. It was in 1997 to 2000. And then we have centralized Aladdin for all Central Europe, because there are small countries around. But now every member is running their own application. So currently we are running Aladdin in Zagreb, and we are running also data assimilation and type of 3D VAR. So 3D VAR data assimilation plus Aladdin, but we are not coupled with oceanographic models. So teams from oceanographic models would like to couple with us, that we should have full system, but it will be processed. But it is operational, and we have a lot of customers, and they are very happy, and we earn money by that. No, for Aladdin we put here just decision of the service is that just data which we put on Met service web pages, this is meta.hr, some of Aladdin data are there. So those data are free of charge. And other data will be just described in this meta files, because the data are not free of. No, there will not be even, there will be just example what they are as images, but we will not send any images anywhere. Maybe if somebody asks us, maybe we should have some procedure, but people already have it in web pages. Maybe if they would like to order it, we could have some procedure. It's not a problem. It's not a problem because we are in the same house, same team of people, so it won't be a problem. But currently those data are at web pages of Met service. Okay. I think it's enough from me. Yes. Yeah.
As I understand, there are kind of three layers. What I'm saying is the first one is the legacy representation. The other layer is DCPC. So DCPC is harvesting the metadata from other legacy collection. Then the DCPC data collection and producing data. So DCPC is collecting the metadata from other legacy, and then the collecting metadata in DCPC should be harvested to the Cisco platform.
Yes, we will provide that. But our problem is that first we should have agreement with the partners, especially because somebody could push data, would request data. So we should know that what somebody claim in these meta files that they are ready to provide, even on payment. But just that we don't have a dead system, People could be